Picture this. You're 400 feet beneath the ocean surface, completely cut off from the world above. No cell phone signals, no internet, no way to call home. The closest you can get to your family is a 120-word message sent once a week. This is the reality for thousands of brave American submarine crews who defend our nation from the depths of the ocean. But here's what most people don't know. These heroes have developed some truly remarkable ways to cope with missing their families during months-long deployments. From creating substitute families within their crew to using cutting-edge military psychology, submariners have mastered the art of staying emotionally strong while being completely isolated from their loved ones. Today, we're diving deep into the untold story of how our submarine warriors handle one of the toughest parts of their job, being away from the people they love most. What you're about to discover will change how you think about sacrifice, brotherhood, and the incredible mental strength of our military personnel. The techniques they use aren't just survival strategies. They're life lessons that can help anyone dealing with separation or isolation, and some of these methods might surprise you completely. If you're proud of our submarine forces and want to learn how they overcome incredible challenges, type "proud" in the comments. The reality of submarine life. Let's start with the brutal truth about submarine deployments. When a nuclear submarine leaves port, the crew essentially disappears from the world for 2 to 3 months at a time. Unlike soldiers on land who can video call their families or sailors on surface ships who have regular communication, submariners face total isolation. The numbers are staggering. American submarines carry crews of 80 to 150 people depending on the class. These men and women live in a space smaller than most people's homes, sharing it with nuclear reactors, weapon systems, and enough supplies to stay underwater for months. Communication with families is limited to special military radio systems that can barely penetrate the ocean depths. Messages are short, censored for security, and often delayed. Imagine trying to maintain a relationship or be a parent through 120-word weekly messages. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite these extreme conditions, American submarine crews have some of the highest job satisfaction rates in the entire military. They voluntarily sign up for multiple deployments, and many serve for decades. How is this possible when they're constantly separated from their families? The answer lies in the incredible coping strategies they've developed, strategies that the Navy has studied extensively to understand what makes these sailors so resilient. Strategy number 1, the submarine family bond. The first and most powerful strategy submariners use is creating what they call a submarine family. This isn't just military jargon, it's a real psychological bond that helps replace the family connection they're missing. One submariner from the USS Columbia put it perfectly. Being away at sea, leaving behind our families and loved ones, we all became a family of our own design. We became a family of submariners capable of the most complex tasks in the deepest of oceans, all to protect our nation and families at home. This family bond goes far beyond typical workplace friendships. Submariners eat together, sleep in the same small spaces, and depend on each other for their lives every single day. They celebrate birthdays together, share personal stories during quiet moments, and support each other through emotional difficulties. The crew structure actually encourages this family feeling. Unlike larger military units, submarine crews are small enough that everyone knows everyone else by their first name. The commanding officer might eat dinner sitting next to a 19-year-old sailor, creating an atmosphere of shared experience rather than strict hierarchy. But what really makes this strategy work is shared purpose. Every person on that submarine knows that their job directly protects American families back home. When they miss their own children, they remember they're working to keep all children safe. This transforms personal sacrifice into collective mission. Research shows that this family bond is so strong that many submariners describe their crew relationships as lasting, lifelong friendships. They stay in touch for decades after service, often becoming real family through marriages and ongoing relationships. Strategy #2, mindfulness and mental training. Here's something that might shock you. The US Navy has invested heavily in teaching submariners mindfulness and meditation techniques. This isn't new age thinking. It's cutting-edge military psychology based on solid research. Studies conducted on American submarine crews found that sailors who practiced mindfulness had significantly lower stress levels and better emotional control during long deployments. They were better able to handle the frustration of missing important family events and the anxiety of being unable to help with problems at home. The Navy's approach is practical, not philosophical. Submariners learn breathing techniques they can use in their bunks, mental exercises for staying calm during emergencies, and ways to process difficult emotions without affecting their duties or crew morale. One technique involves what psychologists call positive reframing. Instead of thinking, "I'm missing my daughter's soccer game," submariners learn to think, "I'm working so my daughter can play soccer safely." This mental shift helps transform sadness into pride and purpose. The results are remarkable. Submarine crews who received this mental training showed lower stress hormones, better sleep quality, and higher job performance. They also reported feeling more connected to their families, even while separated. What makes this especially impressive is that these techniques work in one of the most stressful environments imaginable, a nuclear submarine hundreds of feet underwater, where one mistake could be catastrophic. Strategy #3: Innovative communication methods. While submarine communication is limited, the crews have become incredibly creative about staying connected to their families. The methods they use could teach anyone about making the most of limited contact. First, there's the famous family-gram system. Families can send 120-word messages to submariners once a week. But these aren't ordinary messages. Families learn to pack enormous emotional content into those few words. They develop codes, inside jokes, and special ways of sharing love that make every word count. Submariners also use something called delayed gratification communication. Before deployment, they record video messages for specific future events, birthdays, holidays, school events. Their families play these at the right times, making the submariner feel present even when absent. The Navy has also developed special low-frequency radio systems that can reach submarines hundreds of feet underwater. These systems are so advanced that they can penetrate ocean depths that would block all normal radio signals. It's like having a direct line to another world. But here's the really clever part. Submariners use their limited communication time strategically. Instead of trying to solve problems from underwater, they focus on emotional support and encouragement. They learn to trust their families, to handle difficulties independently while providing love and motivation from afar. Recent technological advances have made this even better. New submarine communication systems being tested by the Navy will allow more frequent, higher-quality contact with families while maintaining the security and stealth that submarines require. Strategy #4: Structured routines and purpose. One of the most effective ways submariners cope with missing their families is through incredibly structured daily routines that keep them focused and productive. These aren't just work schedules, they're carefully designed psychological tools. Submarine days are divided into precise segments: work shifts, meals, exercise, education, and personal time. This structure serves multiple purposes. It keeps minds occupied, creates predictability in an unpredictable environment, and gives everyone a sense of control and progress. During personal time, submariners engage in activities that connect them to their family lives. They read books, work on correspondence courses to improve their careers for their family's benefit, and exercise to stay healthy for their return home. Many submariners use deployment time for self-improvement that will benefit their families. They earn college degrees through correspondence courses, learn new skills, and work on personal projects. This transforms separation time into investment time. The routine also includes group activities that build the submarine family bond. Movie nights in the crew's mess, games during off-duty hours, and shared meals create positive experiences that counterbalance the stress of separation. What's particularly smart about these routines is that they're designed to maintain normal sleep and wake cycles despite being in an environment with no natural light. This helps submariners stay psychologically healthy and better able to cope with emotional challenges. Research shows that submariners who fully engage with these structured routines report higher satisfaction, better family relationships upon return, and greater likelihood of successful reintegration with their families. Strategy #5: Professional mental health support. Here's something that shows how seriously the American military takes care of its people. Every major submarine base now has embedded mental health professionals specifically trained to help submariners and their families cope with deployment stress. This program started when the Navy discovered that 30% of submarine personnel losses were due to mental health issues, often related to family separation stress. Instead of accepting this as inevitable, they decided to fight it with professional help. These aren't regular military counselors. They're specialists who understand the unique challenges of submarine life. They know about the claustrophobia, the isolation, the pressure of living with nuclear weapons, and most importantly, the pain of missing family milestones. The program works in 3 phases. Before deployment, submariners and their families receive counseling on coping strategies and communication techniques. During deployment, families have access to support groups and individual counseling. After deployment, there's reintegration counseling to help families adjust to being together again. What makes this program special is that it's confidential and doesn't affect a submariner's career. Sailors can get help without worrying about being removed from submarine duty or damaging their military records. The results speak for themselves. Since implementing this program, the Navy has seen significant reductions in submarine personnel losses, improved family satisfaction, and better overall mental health outcomes for submariners. This shows something remarkable about American military culture: the willingness to invest in innovative solutions to take care of our service members and their families. Strategy #6: Family preparation and support networks. The most successful submariners don't just cope with missing their families during deployment, they prepare their families to succeed while they're gone. This preparation is a crucial part of their coping strategy. Before deployment, submarine families go through extensive preparation. Spouses learn to handle all household responsibilities independently. Children are prepared for their parents' absence and given special ways to feel connected. Extended family and friend networks are activated to provide support. The Navy has discovered that families who are well prepared handle deployments much better, which directly reduces stress on the deployed submariner. When a submariner knows his family is thriving, he can focus on his mission without constant worry. Family support groups play a huge role in this success. Submarine spouses form tight communities that help each other through deployments. They share childcare, provide emotional support, and create social networks that prevent isolation. These support groups also organize special events for submarine families. Homecoming celebrations, family days at the base, and group activities help maintain connection to the submarine community and provide positive experiences during difficult times. What's remarkable is how these families develop their own coping strategies. They create countdown calendars, plan special projects for the submariner's return, and find ways to include the deployed parent in daily life through photos, videos, and creative communication. The children of submariners often develop exceptional independence and resilience. They learn to be proud of their parents' service while missing them terribly, and this pride helps them cope with the separation. Strategy #7: Homecoming rituals and reintegration. The final strategy submariners use is creating meaningful homecoming rituals that help them reconnect with their families and process their deployment experience. These rituals are crucial for successful family reintegration. Submarine homecomings are spectacular events. Families gather at the naval base to welcome their heroes home with flags, banners, and celebration. But the real work happens after the public celebration ends. Smart submarine families have learned to plan gradual reintegration rather than expecting everything to return to normal immediately. The submariner needs time to readjust to family life, and family members need time to include him back into routines they've managed independently. Many families plan special one-on-one time for the submariner with each family member. This helps rebuild individual relationships that may have changed during the deployment. It also gives everyone a chance to share their experiences and feelings about the separation. The Navy provides resources for this reintegration period, including counseling and family support services. They've learned that successful reintegration is just as important as successful deployment for overall family health. What's touching about these homecoming rituals is how they celebrate not just the submariner's service, but the family's sacrifice. Children and spouses receive recognition for their contribution to national defense through their support of their submarine family member. These celebrations help transform the pain of separation into pride in service and strengthen the family bonds that will help them through future deployments. Conclusion: the strategies our submarine crews use to cope with missing their families reveal something profound about American military excellence. These aren't just survival techniques, they're examples of turning one of life's greatest challenges into opportunities for growth, connection, and service. From creating submarine families that last lifetimes to using cutting-edge psychology to stay mentally strong, our submariners have mastered skills that could help any of us deal with separation, loss, or difficult circumstances. What impresses me most is how these strategies focus on others rather than just personal coping. Submariners help their crew members, support their families from afar, and remember that their sacrifice protects millions of American families. This outward focus transforms personal pain into meaningful purpose. The next time you think about our submarine forces patrolling the ocean depths, remember that they're not just operating complex military machinery. They're demonstrating the highest levels of human resilience, creativity, and dedication to family and country. These men and women represent the best of American values, taking care of each other, finding innovative solutions to difficult problems, and putting service before self, while never forgetting the importance of family. Their example reminds us that even in our darkest, most isolated moments, we can find ways to stay connected to what matters most and emerge stronger than before. If this story of submarine courage and family devotion moved you, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible stories of American military excellence. And remember, our submarine crews are out there right now, using these very strategies to serve our nation while missing their families so that we can be safe with ours.